Well, if we are to talk about the best, if you're to talk about one of the best right backs in the league, there is no way you can skip the name Pedro Porro, who plays as a right back for the side of Tottenham Hotspur. Signed from Sporting Lisbon for 50 million euros at Tottenham Hotspur. And he has been really one of those players that I think has gone ahead to obviously do the needful. Ever since he came through in the season of 2023-2024, he has put out outstanding performances that has attracted a lot of interest from big clubs, right? And in 2023, to show you how good this player was, or is, he played 35 games. He scored 3 goals and made 7 assists. That is Pedro Porro for you. And he was playing at Spurs. And that obviously paints a very good picture onto how he could look at a club known as Man City, because City are really madly interested in him. And they want to obviously bring in what we call a right back. You know, in the season of 2024-2025, Pedro Porro played 33 games. Went ahead to obviously score 2 goals and put out 6 assists. So, in his first season, 10 goal involvements in the Premier League. His second season, 8 goal involvements in the Premier League. This season, Spurs has been really performing badly. And in 27 games, he has only 2 assists and 2 zeros. So, welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Continue to subscribe because we want to hit 29,000 subscribers in there for you. After subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Third video of the day, we are on a marathon that I think for almost a year, we've obviously gone ahead to be on. And this marathon will continue on a daily, and I'll be feeding you with more news and information. And I want to let you know that in the next video, expect a live stream to obviously talk with you here onto the Rokani Media Football. So we are going to be talking about Donnarumma and what he says about Italy failing to obviously qualify for the World Cup for 3 consecutive World Cups. You know, they are not in Russia, they are nowhere in Qatar, and in the US, Canada, and Mexico, they are also not there. That is what we call the World Cup. Then their coach, Gennaro Gattuso, is also really is also in total bafflement on what will obviously happen. So let's start it off from where this story is going to come in through, and we obviously break it down as usual and see what your thoughts are about it indeed. Now, Grammy Bailey is the suspect that is going to drop this, and he's really one of those that really works as a football and transfer correspondent with Team Sports, Sports News Blitz, and very many others. He has told us that Man City are now showing significant interest in potential swap for Pedro Porro. Now, he first talked about a potential swap, meaning that if they're talking about a swap, they're like, Tottenham Hotspur, we have some players that we can give you, and you get us Pedro Porro. That is it, because City really has very many players. You know, they do have Matheus Nunes, they do have Rico Lewis, they do have O'Reilly, they do have Oscar Bob. They have very many players that can obviously do the needful and obviously consider a swap. But this player is really very expensive, I tell you, because if they bought him for 50 million euros, I think right now the less they can sell him for is like 80 million euros, because it's not Man City only that are in need of the services of this player that you're obviously discussing about right now. Ekrem Kona has told us that Man City are tracking Pedro Porro, you know. So, Ekrem Kona has come up and told us that Man City are really tracking what we call Pedro Porro for the right back rotation. Tottenham struggling near relegation zone. Situation could trigger move. No official bid yet, but City's interest is strong. So, City is in need of a right back. And I think the manager of City has obviously gone ahead to understand that however much he has gone ahead to praise Matheus Nunes as one of the best right backs in the league, according to how he's really performing in there. But he believes he needs a natural right back to obviously bolster his attacks in there for you. And guys, I'm really afraid. I tell you, I've been really consistent on what I've always gone ahead to say, that this season the trophy is going to Arsenal, and there is no way City will obviously come close to the trophy. That is it. But next season, I'm really afraid that City are obviously going to be a very hard nut to crack. Why? When you look at the team that Pep has gone ahead to build, if you add on Pedro Porro, Elliot Anderson, or Sandro Tonali, guys, that is an overdose of talent in one team. And whether Pep stays, all goes, whoever takes charge of that City team would have gone ahead to inherit a very, very, very beautiful team, I tell you. It will be one of the best teams in the world that you'll be looking at and really understanding that, oh yeah, it's really worth it to obviously support a team like City in there for you. And they'll obviously be having a very flawless full-back attack on the left and the right, because on the left, they already have Nico O'Reilly. Arsenal fans really know him very well because he scored a brace in the Carabao Cup final before we went into international break, and he really went ahead to destroy a side known as Arsenal in there. He's flawless. He can play in the midfield, and he can also play as a left back, meaning that he does those inversions very well. And when he really crosses the center and he reaches the final third, he's like a forward. Pedro Porro, if you really add on another flying right back like Pedro Porro, that reminds me of that City that had a João Cancelo and Kyle Walker in the same team. You get? And they would obviously attack. Remember that City that had Zinchenko playing as the left back and João Cancelo playing as a right back. You understand? So it's really going to be one of those hard moments in there for you, for these teams that are obviously going to be facing City. And if they ever take Pedro Porro, guys, I tell you, it will be an addition of salt to the insults of or to the injuries of the opponents they're obviously going to be facing. He's 26 years of age, turning 27, and I've shown you his stats that are really mad. If you could obviously score 3 goals and put out 7 assists in that season where he had Ange Postecoglou as his manager, right? I tell you, if he goes to City, City has more dominance, more players that really match his quality and improve his quality. He will score more goals, and he remind us of a João Cancelo of Man City, who could obviously score goals and obviously put out assists in the entire season that really went ahead to obviously astonish everyone in the game of football in there. And they're also looking at Livramento at Newcastle. And I really believe that if you ask me on Livramento and Pedro Porro, I do take Pedro Porro on any day. And they are facing competition from teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona. They really like the player. But we all know to it that Madrid really has financial constraints, and there is no way they're obviously going to come up and obviously put out a fight against a team like Man City that really has a lot of money, guys. There is no way they can stand in the way. And it's always said, even 1,000 flies cannot stand in a way of one broom. And this time round, City is the broom. And I tell you what, Barcelona, Real Madrid are what we call the flies, because they don't have the money. They're really struggling. And I've just gone ahead to see a story that a club known as Barcelona, the clause to obviously sign United's Marcus Rashford loanee there on a permanent deal expired in March, and they've obviously said to United that can we please do the needful and really sign this player on another loan. And I don't think that United will accept that, because they believe they want to get money from Marcus Rashford in there for you. So that is all about Pedro Porro to the side of Man City. And I tell you what, it's really going to be very, very important to look at and really understand that this side of City is really working tirelessly to obviously improve their squad. And I think it's one of those positions where they're really not strong enough, and I think it will obviously cost them this season. But next season, if they bring in the lad, I tell you, it will be something important. Now, let's leave it at that, and let's go to the goalkeeper of City, Donnarumma, failing to go to the World Cup. That means Donnarumma has never featured in any World Cup tournament, because in 2014, he wasn't the goalkeeper of Italy, But right now, when he has been the first choice goalkeeper of Italy, he has not obviously helped them to go to play in the World Cup, So yesterday, they were knocked out, and obviously, he never saved his team on penalties. And many missed penalties. It was 4-1. That was the result in penalties in there for you. And it was really very, very, very painful for him. But he has finally come up and obviously had something to say about the result. He said, "Last night after the match, I cried. Today, words serve little purpose. It's true. But there is one thing I feel deeply and that I want to share with you. After such a great disappointment, we must find the courage to turn the path once again. And for that, it takes a lot of strength, passion, and conviction." That's what Donnarumma has gone ahead to say. But I want to let you know that he had just gone ahead to win the Carabao Cup with Man City, his first trophy ever since he came through at Man City. It has gone ahead to come in through there. But he needed this more, because at least go to the World Cup and really fumble down there, but not to miss out and lose out onto, let me check out the team that really went ahead to obviously knock them out, and it was really very, 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 very shocking for Italy, because this team, to me, Hosna and Hosgovina, Bosnia, it's Bosnia, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina, That's the team that really went ahead to obviously knock them out on penalties. And to get to the final of the playoff, they also knocked out Wales on penalties. So he was really speaking out with a lot of pain, but that's it. That's what the game of football really brings. And he's returning to Man City to obviously come and prepare for the FA Cup game against Liverpool. That is it. When you look at Man City, he's returning to play against Liverpool, and obviously they're hosting Liverpool in there. And after that, they'll go and really rest for, I think, a week, to play against a team known as Chelsea over the weekend, and then they host Arsenal. Now, these two Premier League games are really very important, and he needs to be at his best, because if they really drop points in all of these games, that trophy is gone, especially the game of Chelsea. What keeps them into the game is the result. What keeps them into the title race is the result they get against Chelsea, that is this weekend. If they fail to get a result against Chelsea of 3 points, and Arsenal wins against Bournemouth, the other weekend, not this weekend, it's done and dusted. And there is no way I see them really getting back to those terms in there. Now, their manager, who goes by names of Gennaro Gattuso, has finally gone ahead to come out and obviously speak out. And this is what he has gone ahead to speak out as a manager. Now, Gennaro Gattuso has said, "Let me say sorry to Italy fans, to our country, because I didn't make it. My future, a question, it doesn't matter now. I don't care about that now, it hurts." Obviously, he's the manager, and I think he's one of those managers whose career has had nothing successful about it. I think his best spell was it at Rangers in there. But I cannot come out and obviously say he's really one of those managers. We have to obviously come out and obviously say he has been really good, he has done a lot. Not really. And I don't think that he got even that job on merit. And I was one of those people who came out and criticized the Italy Football FA for really giving him that job. And I was like, who does that? No one does that. But they did it. And those are the repercussions of really getting in incompetent managers like Gennaro Gattuso. And they have to obviously feel the fire and taste the bitterness for their own medicine they obviously went ahead to obviously make. So that's what I had for you here onto the Rokani Media Football. And it's really very important to note that we are back fully, and we're obviously charged to the fullest to obviously bring you stories that matter and really move you. So your thoughts on Pedro Porro to Man City interest are welcome in the comment section below. One, of Pedro Porro and Livramento, who do you think the side of Man City needs most? And lastly, go ahead and teach me, school me, let me learn about Italy not qualifying for the World Cup. Who is to blame? Because they even had a red card and they were a 10-man team that really went ahead to push until the penalty shootouts. For the viewers of the Rokani Media Football, thank you for watching in through, but continue to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. Bye-bye.